A thread by Carlos Osuita. Let's address an issue that Timcast brings up. What happens if a mass of lawless rioters completely overwhelms the police with sheer numbers? New York City has about 22,000 patrol officers and 5,000 detectives. People are worried about cops retreating. They're being ordered to, but let's say another CHOP is created in New York City. This time, it takes over a larger part of the city, and the security are more heavily armed. What could be done that wouldn't result in massive bloodshed? Well, the clearing of CHOP in Seattle was the beta test for how to take down these places without a flat-out military assault. It's a combination of tactics and technology. All were proven in Iraq and Syria 2015 to 2017. We'll start with tactics. This objective seemed hopeless. Watch until 4:20. Link in the description. Make sure to watch the video if you can. Al-Jamuri Hospital is 7 stories tall. There were actually 100 snipers with over 300 human shields. But the Iraqis took the hospital, killing all the terrorists and freeing all of the hostages unharmed. ISF is for Iraqi Security Forces. ITV News in Syria produced the only report ever published that describes how these military miracles against the Islamic State were accomplished. Another video, watch until 3:35. Gulf Arab and Allied commandos didn't pose as Islamic State terrorists just to collect intelligence. They also carried out combat missions such as entering Al-Jamuri Hospital in Mosul and killing all the terrorists. And that's where technology comes in. Nano drones go in to film and listen. The infiltrators know names, passwords, faces, everything. And there's another piece of technology perfected in Iraq and Syria. Heads-up displays, HUDs, on glasses. This is a HUD, heads-up display. New technology projects video onto the inside of glasses. Here's an Iraqi Federal Police commando with HUD or HUD glasses. The thick coil, see, attaches to the battery on his back. The glasses are wireless. Front and back of the HUD unit. Front. And back. A squad of police commandos were sent into heavy underbrush to intercept 6 armed Islamic State suicide bombers attacking the police commando headquarters. An overhead drone fed video to the HUD set, and the officer used a helmet-mounted GoPro to send video to his headquarters. The police commandos went into the underbrush, which was taller than their heads. The drone fed overhead video to the officer wearing the HUD. He saw each terrorist as a dot, and he and his men were different colored dots. When necessary, he switched to horizontal views from cameras that his men wore. The officer wearing the HUD communicated with his men by radio. He was able to position his men and direct their fire so that they killed all 6 bombers without even seeing them. That was from 2017. The new technology has been improved. There were tons of gunmen in CHOP. They were all taken out by military commandos wearing HUD glasses, guided by drones overhead. The real-time video can be overlaid with the digital maps of the area. All you need is one person wearing HUD glasses. He or she sees the soldiers and each of the gunmen. They're marked by dots and numbers. The feds have arrested over 300 people on terrorism charges. Who? They aren't saying yet. When the Seattle cops went in, there were cars with armed men wearing body armor. The cars had no plates. I watched cops say, "Keep an eye on that car." They weren't nervous. Why not? Because the Delta Force or some other top-tier operators were on it. The cars didn't get away. As in Minneapolis, I'm sure the cars were found abandoned, the suspects having fled on foot. Our operators have EMP weapons that knock out engines. Watch the little white car. Coalition airstrike destroys a Daesh vehicle. Long story short, the vehicle comes to a slow stop, obviously having been influenced by some outside force knocking out its electronics. That was a totally up-armored truck bomb. They didn't shoot the driver. They knock out the electronics and the car crapped out. My guess is that we now have aerial drones with EMP weapons. CHOP was a combat trial of everything our allies invented and trained our troops how to use. This is precisely the reason why Trump invoked the Stafford Act, which allows the regular military to be used in a law enforcement capacity. You don't need to worry about the military ever again. Only a few people are trained in the new weaponry, the trustworthy folks. Our capabilities will remain classified for a while. First, we have to clean out all of the partisan lunatics. I would imagine that the reorganization of the armed forces would prevent everyone between the operators and the Secretary of Defense from knowing what's going on. Did you ever watch the videos where it took forever to get clearance to engage the enemy? Madness. One of the reasons Mattis had to be fired was that he wanted to centralize the armed forces at a level never before seen. All the former generals and admirals attacking Trump are people who lost control of their troops. Everyone was writing books to get rich and famous. Does anyone here see the need for strategists to know the precise details of tactical weapons and tactics? I think the highest rank that should know the details are majors. Everybody above that rank needs to simply accept the word of the combat troops. For now. You create a strategy, and then the majors tell you if his or her people can execute it. The majors know all the details of weapons and tactics, so they would brief the colonels who would brief the generals. In all modern wars, there's footage of generals being shown weapons. Here's a photo. Caption: U.S. Army Lieutenant General Christopher Cavoli, second from right, commanding general of U.S. Army Europe, listens to Colonel Thomas Huff, commander of 2nd Cavalry Regiment, 2CR, during a weapon demonstration at the 7th Army Training Command's Grafenwohr Training Area, Germany, December 7, 2018. Lieutenant General Cavoli visited 2CR and received a capabilities briefing about the 30mm Stryker infantry carrier vehicle Dragoon and also fired the weapon system. See? He's being briefed on tactical capabilities. All we have to do is make it so that capabilities are never shared above the rank of major. In the Korean War, the most secretive Air Force Special Operations units knew only the men in their squads. They were never told anything about general capabilities. Each squad operated totally independently, and the Air Force brass was forced to keep its nose out of the squad's business. That's why, to this day, the capabilities and missions are generally unknown. The units were too small to endanger countries, or us. The brass handles the stuff that can impact entire nations, or us. But you keep tactical weapons and operators secret from everybody. I'm fine with that, for now. How long it lasts depends on the behavior of the armed forces. If they can't shut up, then they don't get to know. Period. We'll all rise to the occasion. Evil corporations are cooperating with the government without having to be coerced. They want to. Trump did that. We are a great people, and I fully expect us to start acting like it all the time. Dismissed.